Good morning. Happy Saturday, everybody. Come on in. I'm just a few minutes early. Let me just get myself up on this device here. I would love for you to say hi when you come in. And here I am. And I can't see comments yet. Not yet, but I can see we have some peepers on with us. Say good morning when you come in. I can't see comments, but hang on. Give me hi, Linda Baker. Good morning. I can't seem to. All right, there I am. There I am. Welcome everybody to the next installment of the Diva Designs. I am Mary LaFay with Diva Designs, Vintage Retail Therapy, proud owner and creator of Diva Design Stencils. There's Laurel. How are you? So today I actually have back-to-back lives today, so we're going to get right to it. Let me grab my chair, although I don't think I'm going to be sitting down much. But that's okay. I got my dryer here. Today we're going to be working with the Christmas stencils. I love the new Christmas designs. They are geared towards cards, smalls, tags, embellishments maybe on your wrap. On your Christmas wrapping. How cute would it be to add a little something in there, right? Super cute. So we're going to be layering some stencils. We're actually going to be using 3 stencils this morning. We're going to be using Christmas Wishes. Gosh, I always forget the name. Christmas Wishes, Christmas Minis, Sensational Stripes, which I love because I hate taping stripes off. I hate it. I just as soon poke my eyes out. Seriously, I don't like it, but I love a good stripe. Hi, Louise. I can't wait to see some of you in just a few short days. And the third one is mini borders. I have to start making easy names so I can remember them. Let's get the camera down. We're going to be starting with a board that is, let me measure it for you. It is 7.5 by 7. 7.5 by 7.5. Good morning, Deb. How are you guys? Let's get this down here. I do have my charger in there because, hang on, because I gotta stay charged. I have a couple of lives. That's not gonna work. Let me see if I can put it on this side. There we go. That's better. It's a little crooked, just like me. Let's sit down. So we're gonna be doing some stencils. And let's see if I can get this. This arm is kind of in my way. Maybe if I move my phone up. Hang on. Move my phone up. And then I can keep it charged. All right, there we go. Okay, can you guys see that good? So we're gonna start first with red. I'm using Pentart acrylic paint. If you're looking for a good red, this is the perfect red. It's called Red Vine. It's the perfect Christmas / holiday red. So we're gonna start with some stripes. We're going to be adding some transfers. We're going to be layering up some stencils. And let's see, I've got my brushes here. And I'm going to start by dipping just a little bit of paint in there. And making sure we're working it into those bristles. Good morning, Debbie and Deb. Debbie and Deb, and Charlotte is here. Okay, so I've worked it into the bristles. Now I'm going to offload it. And I really am okay if I don't have the same intensity of paint from one side to the other. And I am going to take this down. Here we go. Hi, Molly. Salve, Molly. Molly and I are taking Italian lessons. And I don't know about you, but my Duolingo, she's annoying. She chastises me if I don't do a lesson. Anyway, hey Janet, I hope you're feeling better. Thank you so much for sprinkling Regine. If you guys could do all the things, and hey, invite one of your friends. I would absolutely love that. So we're just going to... I did not top coat my board, and now I'm wondering if I should top coat my board. Maybe I should top coat my board. I feel like if I do, my paint will not soak up into that as much. I think I may take a, there's my garlic cold. I may take a detour because it's soaking into this wood. This wood is so porous. It's soaking into the wood. And let's just top coat this. Let's just give it a really quick coat of top coat first. Good morning, Robbie. Because we're going to be applying transfer, so we're going to need this top coat anyway on here. Okay. There we go. Do over. Good morning, Sandy. You're behind in your lessons too? Yeah, because I was on a streak. I was on like a 9-day streak. And you know, I know it's bots. It's not an actual person. She's like, it would be a shame to mess up your 9-day streak. And then she says, just saying. It's like, oh my goodness. I'm getting scolded by an app now. What the heck? So I feel like my paint's going to flow a little bit better now with a top-coated surface. Let's see if I'm right. Good morning, Sandra. What's everybody up to this weekend? It is the last weekend before my workshop, my September workshop. I typically do a workshop every September. So if you didn't get in on this year's, save the date for next year. Typically it is the weekend after the 15th of the September. And I already have great plans for next year's workshop. Hey Jean, how are you, sweet friend? Yes, it's going to be warm here in San Diego next week in the 80s. So if you're coming to the workshop, make sure you bring your bathing suit, layer. It's almost dry. Charlotte says bring an empty suitcase. We are actually going to be doing a sale for the ladies that come to the workshop. So it's a good idea to bring an extra workshop. Good morning, Rana, Debbie. How are you? We're going to layer up some stencils today. I just put a coat of top coat. My board was very thirsty without it, and you can see that it was really sucking up. Oh no, Molly, please be better. Can you add that red to your order? Yes, you can, Deb. You absolutely can. Just put it in the notes. Just put it in the notes. Jessica will be in this morning at 11. And our orders are light today. So she'll be able to see it. All right. Let's pick up where we left off, which is right here and right here. Yeah, that's better. Can you see how I'm getting a brighter intensity on that? I actually might use my other brush. You're better off to put 2 light coats than 1 thick coat. So instead of getting thicker, I'm actually going to go over it again. Otherwise, I'm going to get a little splotchy. All right, let's make sure that's dry. Cool. You'd be sexy. Sexy helper in your bathing suit. Let me just cover this because my brush wants to mosey on over there. All right, so let's get a second coat on this. Again, remember to offload, really important. So typically when I'm using this stencil, because there are no connectors, okay, I typically hold it down. Yeah, you know what, I don't know. I've had this time slot since we started our page. I don't know. I know there's a lot of events and things going on today, and I apologize, but since we started this page, I've been here every other Saturday at 10 a.m. So my time hasn't changed. But I know Saturdays is the day for events, so there's always a lot of events on Saturdays. You can see how we're getting a little more color saturation, and you can see how I'm holding down here so that my stencil isn't shifting. All right, let's get just a little more paint. A little offload. Now I'm gonna hold and dry that. Good morning, Denise. I get to love on some of you this week. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I don't know why everything has to be a song. That's just kind of how our family is. Oops. So you can see I have very little paint. If I go like this, you'll see there's hardly anything coming off on my hand. Can you see that? So you really don't want an excess of paint, because all you're going to do is create bleed through. So when you have less paint, you can actually apply a little bit more pressure. All right, let's move that. Tape it down on this side and get the rest of our board. See if I have any leftover paint here. And look, I've got plenty. I've got plenty for my first coat. Because I want a little bit more intensity, I am going to go over it again. With this stencil, you don't really want to move this way around a lot, because you see, you'll kind of shift that just a little bit. So that's why I hang on to it, just so that I don't shift it. There's nothing worse than a shifty stencil. Kind of do a little circle dance over there. This is a great stencil. If you love stripes, this is a great stencil. I mean, it's a great stencil even if you don't love stripes. But if you hate to tape off stripes, and let's add just a little bit more paint. Just un poquito más. It dries pretty fast because, like I said, this wood is kind of thirsty. So just working my way up the stencil. I think I want it a little darker. Let's add a little more paint. My third girl is a new gal. She works on Fridays. Her name is Rose. She only works one day a week. Ruth can't work so many hours anymore. But she'll be here. She can't wait to meet some of you. Doesn't seem like it's as bright on this side. I could always go in after and add more paint. This is probably one of the easiest stencils to line up for obvious reasons. Let's see, do I want more paint? No, I think that's good. All right, so I'm gonna move my fan up on me a little bit. Whew. Okay, so here we go. Super cute. Now we're going to, I don't know that I'm gonna need the red anymore, so let's add another coat of top coat, just really quick. Make sure this is dry, because I am going to be applying a transfer. Transfers do need to go over a top coated surface. It's really mainly in the middle. Wasn't really dry right there. I got a little bit of a bleed through, but that's okay. That is okay. We're going to be using one of the new transfers from the IOD Christmas 2025 collection, Christmas Joy. And we're going to be doing this guy right here. I think it looks super cute. All right, now we're going to layer. Let's layer Christmas minis over this. There's so much meat in this stencil. So much meat. We're going to do just a little Christmas sign. Just something small, maybe you can put at your entryway. What's nice about these wood gallery blanks is that you could do fall on this side and then just switch it around, which is kind of fun. I got a little blurb right there, a little blobby right there. Let's take that out. I think that came from the bottom of the stencil. It's still warm, so it's a little sticky still. All right, that's good. I'm being a little fussy right now. Let this dry. Hey, Debbie. Mickey's here. Karen is here. The gang's all here. Let it cool. All right, let's get some black. Now, I was thinking about making a mask for this. In fact, I'd already started. So if you saw me on my last episode, I actually created a mask. I applied the stencil on a piece of paper. You could use chipboard. And then I went ahead and stenciled it, and then I covered it. So I was thinking about making a mask and then adding my stripes. But then I realized that if I go over my letters in black, it'll be fine. So that's what we're gonna do. Put the stencil brush in the water because we're done with that one. And then let's get this. Put this right, kind of, sort of, eyeball, girl measure. And then let's take that off again. Let me know in the comments who's got this stencil. It kind of looks like the middle. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, kind of, sort of. Good enough. Close enough. Oh, Molly, I'm trying. It's hard. I'm not really great with self-care. I don't think I'll go over this side, but let's just put that there just in case. All right. Let's get some black paint now. And do that. Louise has the stripes and the Christmas ones. The Christmas ones were great. It was a smaller collection, but I really felt like it was needed. And because this is a smaller scale, oops, I don't think I want to do that. that's okay. I'll go ahead and do it anyway. I think my transfer might go over that, but I think I'll leave that out if possible. No, Louise, they have not. Don't get me started on that. They haven't moved for like 10 days now. Charlotte just got her stencil of the mini borders. The next will be the Christmas one. Thank you, Molly. Thank you so much for your support. Those of you who support our small business. So appreciate you. Oops, I wasn't going to do that, huh? So sometimes when you offload the way that you're supposed to, you kind of have to go over a couple of times. But it's no big whoop, you guys. Forget I mentioned it. It's okay. It's all going to work out. It's all going to work out. God's in control. At the end of the day, I can only do what I can do. The good news is I adjust really well, so if we have to pivot, we'll pivot. And that'll be the end of that. Do I want it darker? Actually, that looks pretty good. I think I might put one on my head there. Alright, I wasn't going to do that one, but only because I think my transfer is going to cover it. No, I am going to go ahead and do it. You love that you do several sizes on the... yeah. You need more than one size, so now I'm just going to put this back where it was. Which is easy to do. And let's get this little piece right here. There we go. All right, let's get this dry. And let's add our transfer. I'm not exactly sure where this border's going. I kind of sort of have an idea, but those of you in my private group, you know that's kind of how we roll. We just start with an idea, and then we just go from there. So I was thinking about adding another another stencil down here. So this is the mini borders, and I'm thinking about using this one right here. And I want to make sure I leave enough room for it. And I think that will be a good placement. So I'm really kind of okay with those stripes kind of telegraphing through ever so slightly. And then we're going to go in. Again, we're going in with black. And we're going to add this right about here. Let's take that off. And I thought about putting like molds and like all the stuff, but we only have about an hour. And then I'm actually live again in the IOD group, so there's not a whole lot of time for fussing around. Plus, I wanted to show you guys how easy it is to layer your stencils. That looks about right. A lot of the times I will cover areas, especially on stencils that have a lot of meat on them. I'll cover the areas that I do not want to stencil, just so that I don't have to be so careful with my brush. This tape looks like it's getting pretty banged up. All right, now we're going to go in with our black again. Good morning, Bronia. So I'm on the fence about the sides. I'm thinking about adding these up at the top. Oh, you know what? I was going to do something different with this. I totally forgot. You know what? We'll still do it. We'll still do it. We'll create a shadow effect. I just remembered that at the last minute I changed my mind. Let's add some texture to this. Look how cute that looks. But we're not done. So I've got a mold in case I wanted to add a mold to that, which I do like. But it won't go all the way around, so I don't know if I like that. I feel like it's just maybe too raised. But I was thinking about taking this stencil and just adding it maybe up the sides right here. So what do you think? Do you think you'll like that? I think so. I think that would be good, actually. I think we should do that. I think we should do that. I think. So, this one is going to go right here. Hey, Christy. I didn't even see you here. Up, 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 up. I think I'm going to connect this line right here. I might draw that in. So obviously your stencils need to have connector pieces, otherwise they'd just be floppy. But look at how fun that is all together. All right, but we're not done. Let's do the other side. This is kind of wet. And this, do I want it that way? No, I don't think I do. Just want to make sure that before you flip your stencil over that it's dry. Because otherwise this is going to get onto your surface and you'll be sad. All right, now we're going to flip it. And we're going to go right here. Finding just the right spot. All right, one more time. You guys liking this? Looks like it needs to be down just a little bit lower. There we go. That's better. Wait till the fun stuff. We're going to lift up this bad boy with some crackle paste. So this is the first layer. So this is going to create the shadow of the layer on top. This to me is very traditional Christmas. Sorry, I got an itchy nose. What does that mean again? Is it money? Please, let it be money. All right, so let's connect these two pieces right there and cover up what I don't need. Oops. Okay. Look how fun that looks. Hey, Mac. All right, let's get this dry. Now we're going to do that again, only this time we're going to move it over ever so slightly. And my ladies in group, you've seen me do this before, but some of you here may have not. We're going to be working with a one-step crackle paste. We just demoed this in class the other day, and it's a really cool effect. So we're going to, okay, so here's where I'm starting, okay? Molly, this is called Red Vine. It's the perfect Christmas red. Red Vine. Acrylic paint. It's on our website. No, you can't do hashtag website on this side. There is a link at the bottom. Let me put it in here on this phone and pin it. And you can just do in-store pickup. And this would be under Pentart. I can pin it. Let's see. I may be able to pin it here. And there is, if you go to the link at the bottom, you'll see it. It's there also. pin. All right, so I've pinned it. So this is red vine. All right, so now what we're going to do is you're going to place your stencil where it was, which was right here, and then you're going to move it over ever so slightly, either to the right or to the left or up or down. In this case, I don't really want to go up because I don't want to cover too much of my transfer. So I'm actually going to move it down just a little bit like this. And then we're going to go over this with a one-step crackle. This is a new product in our shop. Now the stencil doesn't have a whole lot of open areas. So it won't be a lot of crackle. But it'll be enough. I'm doing it kind of thick. I probably shouldn't because we have to dry it. Go straight up. Let me wipe that off really quick. I'm all in the fun. And we'll do that here as well. We may have to do it in stages. You know what I didn't bring? I didn't bring my antiquing gel. So this is what it does. This is the demo that we did. This is the one-step crackling paste. It is by Finnabair. It's in our Finnabair section. It's called Texture Paste White Crackle. This was applied light to medium and left to dry on its own. This one was applied very thick and dried. So let's see. Once this dries, I can do both sides, the other sides. And it's starting to crack. It's going to give it a really aged look, which I love. And I was going to tint it, but I think I'll leave it. No, Mac, I did not. I've lost a few nights' sleep over that. Oh, it's cracking beautifully. I'll get you an up close on that. No, I could go in with some IOD ink around my sides, which I probably will. I don't have any here because my desk is clean, believe it or not. I've put everything away. After my live this afternoon, after this, I actually bought myself a new mat because I accidentally sliced right into this one. But I'm getting some really nice cracks in this. So I need it to be dry enough so that I can put my other stencil right here. Look at that. I don't know if you can see. Let me try it a little more. What do you think of the shadowed effect? I know my ladies in group have done this before. We're actually going to do this in a workshop as well on one of our boards. Sometimes it will continue to crack on its own. I really just need it dry enough so that I don't smash it when I add my stencil on the other side. So it's really these corners. So instead of putting a mold, which you could totally put another mold, but hey, this is our stencil page, right? And we've got stencils specifically for things like this. All right, let me see if you can see that. Can you see all those cracks in there? How lovely that is. All right. Let's do that again. And if I do believe we did, let's do this side first. So let's take this off. Hopefully I'm not smashing it too much. All right, so you start out with placing your stencil over your design right here, and then move it over. You can go up, you can go down, you can go to the left, or you can go to the right. Linda, I kiss a fool every night. Sometimes in the morning too. All right, so let's, in this case, go off this way. And let's get our texture paste again. Hey Tana, how are you? Can't wait to see you. Gosh, it'll be here before you know it, ladies. I'll stay away from this piece right here. This off. I'll clean it properly when I get done with the live, and let's do the other side, and then I can dry them both at the same time. And let me dry this just a little bit, because this is going to go over that side. I do want to add a little bit, maybe I'll do it instead of with my ink pad, I'll do it with paint. Might be dry enough if I'm careful. I might have to hold this up away from there. All right, so place it over your design, all right? And then shift. I didn't shift a whole lot on this side, so. Now, I would definitely recommend that you let this side dry before you do this side. I'm just saying. Yikes. Watch your arm. Wet stencil on the mat, yeah. Doing it, oh, that's way too thick. That's going to take a while to dry. Probably did a little too thick there. Let's see if I can cut that off. Let's see, just scoop off the top. All right, let's try that. All right, here we go. Here we go. It doesn't take that long to dry. It really doesn't. Let me do it this way so you can see. This is where the third hand would come in handy. For sure, Janet. Most definitely. I hope you're feeling better. Most definitely. And 2 dryers. Actually, I have 2 dryers. Just not here. But yeah, you could do one of these. See, this one is already starting to crack. I'll go back in and fix that little line in there. So there's a lot of ways that you can style this. Hey, Debbie. You could use molds. Could have put a mold. I think I prefer the idea of the cracking paste, to be honest with you. So you can see it doesn't take that long to dry. I can go in, I can top coat this, and then go in with some antiquing gel. After the IOD class, Mac, that would be super. Unless you want to do in between, but I would say after is better. Just because then I could be more focused. Okay, dry. You guys, if you could share this out, I would so appreciate it. And invite a friend. If you know somebody that loves stencils, or maybe is curious about stencils, or maybe just needing some inspiration for their stencils. Maybe looking to up your stencil game, please invite them to our page. So appreciate that. Okay. Getting there. Typically, I say keep your dryer going, moving, so that you don't scorch or singe. Let's do a quick recap while we're here. Hi, Jennifer. Thank you, Molly. Thank you, Robbie, I meant. Hey, Trees. All right, so we started with a 7.5 by 7.5 board. We added the sensational stripes in Vine Red Vine. Does the one-step cracking paste only come in white? No, it comes in white, it comes in transparent, it also comes in copper. It did come in silver, but the silver was it looked funny, so I actually returned it. Thank you for sharing. So we have the transparent, which, remember we did the demo in group. Catch the replay on that, Molly, if you didn't see it in private group. We did the transparent over green paint, I think it was. And the transparent gives you more of like a craisin, like a very, very fine, like an eggshell crackle. Whereas this one, depending on how you apply it, this was applied very deeply, and this was applied, and you can see, so the thicker you apply this, the deeper and the further away your cracks are, okay? The thinner you apply it, the smaller and closer together your cracks are. It is a one-step crackle. You can paint it in any color. So the fact that it comes in white is probably a good thing, because I feel like you can tint it any color you want, or you can just paint over it. I think this is about as cracked as it's going to get. Okay, 7 by 7 board. Sensational Striped Stencil went first in Red Vine. Then we did the Christmas Minis at the top. Christmas Minis at the top. hang on, it's backwards. No, it's still backwards. Anyway, Christmas minis at the top. Then we went in with the mini borders right here at the bottom. And then we took this one, which is typically could go across or up. Then we went in up the sides in black. Once that dried, we added our one-step crackle paste. Shifted over our stencil. And you can see, look at all that great crackle on there. Isn't that great texture? All right, now the only thing left to do is, and I was going to do this with my ink pad, but you could just take this. And I'll probably do my sides in black as well. Just add a little bit of a border around there. I probably am going to go in with my IOD ink pad. And the sides will get painted in black. So this is a very vintage look, which I actually really like. I want that to go in a little more. And then I'll paint our sides in black. And I'll probably do that as soon as I get off the live because I have all this black paint right here and I hate to waste paint. So let's paint those sides in black. Janet, do you want to put in your link? Janet is one of our retailers. I'm not sure. I think she's got all of the stencils. If not, you can also find them on vintageretailtherapy.com. We do have 31 designs. Thank you, Denise. Simple, you guys. We did this in an hour, or less, actually, because we still have 5 minutes to spare. So this is a very vintage Christmas look. And we combined, good morning, Jessica, 3 stencils. Hi. Hi, Julie. We combined 3 stencils. All right, there we go. Oh, you don't have them in your shop. Okay. All right, look at that cracking paste. Isn't that fun? I probably am going to add a little bit more black because I really like how you can see it here. And that's our project for today. Thank you so much for joining me for this last hour. I so appreciate each and every one of you. If you would be so kind as to sprinkle out the video, I would sure appreciate it. God bless you guys. The new one-step crackle just might be the new fan favorite. I tell you what, I'm a little obsessed and quite smitten with it. I love the fact that it's only one product. I don't have to buy 2 products, and I love the fact that it's easy, comes in a bigger size, and it's effective. Anyway, God bless you guys. Make it a great day. Those of you that are in the IOD class, I'll see you in about 30 minutes. Ciao for now.